This episode of Shootin' the Strings is proudly brought to you by the Guitar Colonel. For the best vintage and used guitars in Australia, visit www.guitarcolonel.com. Now it's time for your favorite megastars, Sir Nigel and the Colonel.
I think we're on. Hello, Sir Nigel.
Colonel, we're back.
We are.
We're
It's
back.
incredible. New studio.
Studio D.
Studio D this time.
People are probably detecting that you've once again pulled the remarkable Colonel's green screen trick.
I have. Hopefully. Well, you know, if it comes down, it's not a bad thing.
It's going to reveal what the state of the Colonel is, which
Lots
is
of guitars.
the state
yeah.
of the Union, really, after all this time.
Lots of guitars.
Welcome back, everyone. It has been forever since we've done a show. I've almost forgotten how to do it.
I know. Panda's a whole year older now.
And it's
Still the same.
It's so exciting. You have moved the studio. It's pretty cool. The shop is overflowing with brilliant guitars.
Oh, thank you.
And we've nicked a
Thank
few
you
this
to the
morning.
customers for bringing them in.
Oh,
you know.
yeah, that is a beautiful thing. So, well, what are we going to do today? I think
man.
do
We're
you
going to
remember?
talk guitar.
Go back in time.
We're going to say hello to some people and we're going to talk guitars and we're going to do some songs. I think the format will be similar. We're going to risk it. There is a slightly risque song that we're going to do today.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit concerned we might get chucked off, but that's all right. We can come back. So where have you been, Sir Nigel? I keep seeing pictures of you flying through the air.
I have. I finally getting back to my day job of flying around and waving my hands and talking to good people.
Yes.
So that's kind of been fun doing that. I've also hanging out with a pretty cool client in the daytime and some friends doing things, thinking about guitars. Everything's on, you know, like it's the Lovefish are back playing. They played the Toad, Toad last night.
Did they? It's Noah's birthday today, isn't it?
Man, it's Noah's birthday.
Oh.
So 20 years old, Noah.
Wow.
Do you remember when you were 20?
Man, I barely remember what I did last night.
Yeah,
so
no.
it was. No, sadly, I do remember what I did last night.
We both,
Alan level.
Yeah, we both enjoyed spicy Asian food this week, haven't you? So my first review of the week in the new format is the Panda Hot Pot here in Melbourne and Carlton.
We're going to chuck in some food reviews. I love it.
What an unbelievable evening. Now, I know hot pot a little bit because I used to travel to Xi'an in China a lot.
Yes, they like it.
And I just, the burn is unbelievable. And then
burn the next day.
Oh, the counter burn.
is
Yeah, absolutely.
the brown out.
Oh my goodness. That's the real deal. They have an interior that they've brought from China. 3 stories. It is absolutely unbelievable as a restaurant experience. And delicious to go with it. Where did you go?
We went to some Korean friends' house and
real
they cooked up.
food.
Yeah, they cooked up real food.
That's so lucky.
I'll tell you a story. Have you been to dainty Sichuan?
I have many times.
Many years ago, before you were born, Sir Nigel, we all used to go in there. It was one tiny little place in Chinatown, down Cause Lane.
Yep.
And you could go in there. They had a fridge full of Tsingtao.
Yep.
You didn't have to ask for it. You just went to the fridge and help yourself. Thank God Alan didn't know about it. And then at the end of your meal, like you'd order some spicy pork dish, which really, by the time you had 10 Tsingtaos, no one knows any different. Until the next day, there's a lot of trouble. And then the guy would come over at the end of your meal and he'd say, okay, how many Tsingtaos did you have? Half a fridge, okay. And that was it. And now, those same people have restaurants all over Melbourne and all that sort of stuff.
That's always been our choice, dainty, and then now this has taken over. It's a full-on experience. You have to queue outside. They're managing the COVID thing pretty well.
Have you had your COVID jab?
I haven't. I've been pretty intensely involved in the clients. Later next week I'm hopefully scheduled. Because I'm an elderly gentleman. I was in the queue some weeks ago, so that was it. Well, let's get down to business. As the TikTok song goes, what's in store with guitars at the moment? I've stolen my first guitar for the day.
Well, that is a Billy Joe Armstrong. Is that correct?
So
Green Day man.
We've got a fantastic new green screen. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie.
And I've
Beautifully
got a fantastic Green Day guitar. What's
lovely.
the story behind this?
Well,
I've never seen one before. It's it's like a large Les Paul.
I know. Oh, you know what I noticed about our new studio?
Is it bigger?
Sounds like we're at the ocean. You can hear we're so close to the road. Yes.
Hold your Les Paul up. Let's just get the size thing right.
Oh, that's like a 175 type hollow
look
body.
at the size difference. That it is, and very comfortable to sit with. But you just suddenly notice it's actually a grown-up guitar.
Yeah, he's got a couple of signature models. He's got a couple of Les Paul Juniors, I think, from memory.
Of course, my favourites.
Which we've had.
Yep.
But I've never had one of these. So, but that is a Gibson ES 137.
Yeah.
And there's a 135. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The 135 has the humbuckers.
Yep.
And the 137 has the P90s.
They're blistering.
They're pretty good. Now, so Nigel, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flick you on. Just play anything you like. And what I've got Nigel running into today, folks, is, let me just move Panda's, I think she's deceased.
All the other big news people are going to get shocked, I'd say, is that I've had my moor taken away from me, folks. I've had the floor pedal thing taken away from me.
Well, we've upgraded you. Are you ready, folks?
Yeah, here we go.
We're going to go blank for a while, and
here we go. What's that coming through? A giant vintage Fender.
A giant vintage Fender.
Ooh.
And that is a 69 twin or 70. That's my twin.
That's a real vintage.
And you can see a little bit of the studio here today. Lots of stuff on the floor. There we go. How about that? Liking that a lot. Look at that. That's cool.
This is a magnificent sounding guitar, and it looks really good.
How about that?
As well. So
Camera B. Now, I am on the...
You've just gone straight to the top shelf.
I've gone for the Don Felder. Les Paul.
That old...
I don't even know if it's in tune. Let's see.
The most expensive guitar in the shop.
I know I'm not supposed to play one. I should be on the other model for that. But yes, this is a 59 Don Felder. And if you don't know who Don Felder is, he was in the Eagles.
Time to Google if you don't.
I know, and I've never actually had one in the shop before. Can you believe it?
Wow.
So there you are. They're great guitars.
It looks beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Is it aged? Or is it that one just a bit vintage?
This one is VOS.
Yep.
Whoop. I'm having a little bit of cold weather tuning.
Oh, it's freezing in here, folks.
It is cold. It is cold
out
here.
of tune.
If you're watching Interstate. But speaking of COVID and cold, when you're a man of my vintage, so Nigel, did you get one of those sort of packs in the mail where you have to do the bowel test and the
hang on there, of course.
You got that?
You used it, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's Alan suggested that I go see his doctor, this New Zealand doctor.
Yep.
And to get a few checks. And, like prostate and whatever. So I go see Alan's doctor, and it's Dr. Ewan Chatsworth, which is a very Kiwi name.
Yeah.
And he says...
Kiwi cricketer, probably.
And he says, hi, Anthony, just lean against the desk and put your hands up there, and we'll do a prostate exam. And I said, okay. And then he said, well, now, how does that feel? And I said, that actually feels pretty good, but why are both your hands on my shoulders? Thank you. No, so
that's an afternoon joke.
I think
I've got a joke too. If our choice of songs today doesn't throw us off, this will do it. What did the left leg say to the right leg?
No, I'm not sure.
Don't talk to the guy in the middle, he's a dick.
I like that a lot.
I like that. I'd say with the big moor news, you sold my moor. That's good on you.
Yes.
Actually, the supplier probably came and claimed it back, to be honest. But the moor GTRS is lighting up the internet. It's controversial.
You're joking? What is this Moor GTRS? I'm out of the loop here.
I'm on vintage gear. The GE300 off the floor, built it into the guitar. Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Looks like a Strat. I don't think I love it. But
yes.
So the intelligence is in the guitar. So you've got to charge your guitar.
Okay.
You get a little remote wireless foot switch with sort of a quick configuration.
Yes.
You set it all up on an app on your phone which talks to your guitar.
Yes.
Bluetooth to wireless headphones. Everything built in. This is what the 21st century kids are wanting.
You know, that whole charge your guitar thing has worked out so well in the past.
It doesn't have robot tuners, fortunately. But
I actually have in store. It's almost like a rare beast because they were so unpopular. I've got a 2015 Les Paul Classic, and we've taken the robot tuners off and we put Clusons on. But
Nice.
and we have the robot tuners here, so
Right.
amazing. Now, so Nigel, I'm going to see who's on. We have some
that'd be
folks
good. It'd
on.
be nice if someone was on.
Michael Ray is on.
Oh,
Michael
Michael.
Ray.
Welcome back, Michael.
Hello, Michael. I feel like I haven't had enough connection with Michael for a while.
No.
Paul D is on. He's having his breakfast.
Sir Paul D,
Hello,
absolutely,
Paul.
yes.
I saw young Guitar Zap over there playing some of his guitars.
Yeah.
Jeff Cook is on from Brisbane, my hometown. What part of Brisbane are you in, Jeff Cook? And Michael Ray is back, a real amplifier, real vowels at last.
At last.
Yeah, the new studio, we have plenty of room, and so we're going to be finally doing some amp demos and
That's
whatnot.
cool.
But
If you can't see it on the screen, but there's quite a few amps in here today. Which,
loads of amps.
Look, it's
crazy.
the Classics Colonel commitment to his customers. He's never selling his 59 or 59 Tele.
No.
And he's out of amps. He's out of amps.
Yeah.
He's never. Amps are gone. It's the digital future.
Just come in, let's talk. Everything's for sale. I've gone and bought myself something a couple of days ago online, but I'll tell you about that off camera because it's
right.
Now. So Nigel, back to rock postcodes. You are from a little place in New Zealand called
Hamiliton. So look, it's wonderful to come back to the show and then back to my hometown. Now, I got to be honest with you. Look, Hamilton is a place that everybody invents that they came from a place just outside.
Yeah.
It's sort of the love child of, let's imagine, Geelong and Frankston.
Jesus.
So you know how nobody ever in Victoria ever comes from Frankston. Oh no, I'm from North Mount Martha.
Oh.
Not from Frankston. Oh no, I'm from South Mordialloc. I'm not from Frankston.
No.
Nobody's from Hamilton.
Wow.
But I've tracked them down because you know it is a classic tale of a small town in the third world in New Zealand where music was a big part of its heartbeat.
Yes.
Over time, I think music rescued a generation from obscurity.
Yes.
There's some solid rock and roll stories.
I always think that those little towns, like the way Brisbane used to be, there was nothing much going. I mean, let's be honest, there was nothing much going on there in the 80s. Really, everything was kind of controlled, and rent was cheap. And you know, if you're a young person up there 20 or 30 years ago, guitar time,
rock and roll, as you say to. So look, this is the theme the secondary theme of the show. The subheader for this show is music to leave town by, because pretty much everyone I know either bypassed it, was from a town, mysteriously from a small town just outside. Split Ends, the Datsons, Jenny Morris, all from small towns just outside Hamilton, because none of us want to be from there. But the fact is, I am. Scene of the White Stripes, first gig outside of the United States of America.
Is that right?
Just total random coincidence. As
Wow.
an Auckland promoter, just a guy called something Baker, can't remember his last first name.
Oh.
He managed to persuade the White Stripes to leave the country and via Japan to New Zealand, and then driving south. It's the first kind of town you hit on your way south of Auckland, and so
Wow.
White Stripes played. That's pretty famous.
That's amazing.
It's kind of got a pretty poor reputation in terms of student health.
Yes.
Getting alcoholically imbibed and those kind of things. So it is the capital of the sexually transmitted disease.
Ooh, which one?
Chlamydia.
Oh yeah.
There's this in the city.
Tick.
There's kind of like there's this triangle of the three pubs you go to in the centre of town, which is called the Chlamydia Triangle. But within that triangle is a lot of good live music. But Hamilton has a Grammy. Does Brisbane have a Grammy?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, I reckon Savage Garden got a Grammy.
Fantastic.
I think so.
Yeah, so musically
Somehow.
known for the alleged, and again, once again, sort of claiming someone who was on the periphery of Hamilton as a Hamiltonite.
Yes.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Richard O'Brien's 1975 masterpiece.
Is he from Hamilton?
No, but they claimed him. He's from a little town called Katikati, which is on the coast where my mate Tammy's been hiding out for the last 8 months or so, setting up this company today. New thing, Kettle. I'm sponsored now. I'm a sponsored artist.
What is this? Well-being.
I've covered the S with the microphone. It's well-beings.
Well-beings.
So I shout out to well-beings, and they're various.
What are they doing?
Well, they're this kind of modern media thing, Colonel. I don't know. It's kind of this mix of podcasts, live shows, music, training, coaching, life skills. Just starting out. They've got a great podcast called Funny Business.
Okay.
So they made like 100 podcasts in lockdown.
Wow.
How many did we make?
2.
Yeah. So they're a little more. They're committed to their art.
We pack a lot in though.
Tam's from there. Her mate Kimbra's from there.
They buddies.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
There
love
you go.
Kimbra.
Yeah, I know. She's a super artist.
Yeah. What's she doing these days?
New York, hit lockdown, making music.
Oh.
Right. So so there's a statue of Frankenfurter
Is
from the
there?
main street. Look, it's a look. He left at
That's
20.
awesome.
He left at 22. His family eccentric, emigrated from the UK.
Yeah.
His father wanted to be a farmer, so they
Yes.
bought a small farm in Katikati, and he was 12.
Yes.
10 years later, a little bit of hanging out in Hamilton, and the bizarre crowds outside the movie theatre inspired a number of the characters,
Yes.
including Frankenfurter. It's also alleged as a town to be the foundation point of our beloved leader's mad church.
Oh.
So the Assembly of God led to our chief marketing manager becoming part of its new guys, Hillsong, which of course Hillsong's generated a certain amount of guitarists over its time as well.
Hillsong's massive. We get a few of the Hillsong folks. Folks.
Goodness me. Explosion on the street outside.
There was a rather large thump. Scotty
not-
from marketing has not been in yet, but yeah, we do get a few.
So
of
here's the list of
bands in.
choices. Bands from my hometown. We could play
Yes.
songs by Datsuns, Kimbra, Split Ends, My Six, Jenny Morris, Catch a Fire.
Catch a Fire, I do not know.
They're reggae. They're friends of the
they?
Marley family. They're the real deal. And Dragon started their life in Hamilton secretly in 1973.
I love Dragon.
A band called Staff.
Staff.
Staff, as in like a staff, a stick, or you haven't got any staff these days.
Oh.
Look at and
about
one that
Panda?
influenced me heavily in my love of the blues, a guy called Midge Marsden.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very obscure, but he was the very good friends of Stevie Ray Vaughan's. So you'd see Stevie Ray Vaughan in the pub at Raglan, you know?
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Very,
there
very
is some sort of
bizarre.
Stevie Ray New Zealand thing, isn't there?
There is.
He spent a fair bit of time.
New
over
Zealander, it was married his wife, was introduced during, you can go and look this up, so the Vaughan family have put up a remastered version of the greatest television advert of all time.
Yeah.
And it's called Travelling On. And if you look up Stevie Ray Vaughan Travelling On Google, you'll find the song he and Midge wrote for this ad. And they made a cinematic version at nearly 3 minutes.
What?
And they had the short version on TV. It's the most catchy, brilliant blues thing you could ever possibly imagine. And so I'm proud that that's from my hometown. But music was the escape. It was the kind of the source of rebellion for us all. The Hillcrest Tavern, for a suburbanising cow town. And I think a lot of parallels with
Brisbane.
the wonderful town of Brisbane accordingly.
Absolutely.
So, you know, the same as Brisbane, it's about youth, it's about rebellion, it's about the late 50s, early 60s.
Yes.
Here's a list of who played in the 60s in this tiny cow town, right? Okay.
Let's do
Cliff
it.
Richard in the Shadows, 1961. The Beach Boys,
What? Oh my goodness.
Billy Thorpe, 64. The Kinks in 1965
Wow.
played the Founders Theatre in Hamilton. Have you got any Kinks leaks?
I do. Hang on.
What would they play? Oh, we've got to hit the mute button there, mate.
Have I got it? Sorry, ask me again.
Kinks,
Oh,
1965. That's the sound of Hamilton in 1965, the
That's cool.
rebellion. Jimmy
Turn myself
Page and the
down.
Yardbirds played the Founders Theatre in 1967.
Wow.
No, Jimmy Page and the Yardbirds didn't do a lot of touring, right?
No, it's quite rare.
There must have been a complete accident. They ended up down there, and now music was a massive escape. People were just wanting to not be their parents.
Did a lot of people leave Hamilton?
The whole theme of this show is music to leave town by.
You know, that's the thing about you know why Brisbane's amazing? Because it has 2 airports. It has one airport for people moving to London and another one for people moving to Melbourne. Thank you.
The
Thank you
tutor
very
advocate
much.
plays out on that big time, doesn't it? So, well, look, I've got a punk guitar.
Let's do some. Should we do some Dragon?
Dragon's a great
I love
start.
Dragon.
I love Dragon.
Hang on,
You shady Australians claim them all the time, but their beginnings were in the wonderful town of Hamiliton.
Dragon.
And,
I remember hearing a story about Dragon when I was working. This is cold weather.
It's so
cold
cold
weather
in here, folks.
tuning. It's being very naughty today. But and I remember I was a teenager. It was in my school holidays, and I was working for my dad at a car place.
Yeah.
And so they knew this story, and apparently Dragon were touring Queensland, and then they had a little break on Hamilton Island. And apparently on Hamilton Island, the only way to get around is like on these golf buggies.
Yeah.
So they all
Been there.
get hammered and they get in these golf buggies. And anyway, I think they trashed 4 or 5 golf buggies, drove one in the ocean, you name it. So they liked a good time.
It's rock and roll.
I'm a big fan.
So like good solid British rock and rollers were driving rollers into the swimming pool.
There you go.
Kids from Hamilton driving golf carts into the
Golf
ocean.
carts, and
That says it all to me, Colonel.
so yeah, it's the closest emulation they could come up with.
It's like a low-rent version of proper rock and roll. What do you got for me, though?
Let's have a look at the good old Dragon.
You've got some April sun because
I've got some April sun.
We've got a bit of May sun out there.
Man, yeah, there's a lot of sun, a lot of traffic noise and sun coming. It's actually a beautiful day in Melbourne. If you're coming down, I think it's going to be 19 today. Can you believe it?
Awesome.
If you're watching from Queensland, you're probably thinking, "Oh my
It's
God!"
19, funnily enough, and Noah's 20. So
There we go. It's all together.
Here's my May sun, and it's 19 going on 20.
I know. I can't believe how tall is he now?
6'5", so yeah, he's the biggest bass player in Melbourne at the moment.
Incredible. He's
and
like a
'cause he's
huge
6'5".
wizard-looking chap.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's have a look at it. We're going to take a simple F shape,
Yeah, I love F shapes.
which is a classic, and I'm going to slide that up to. My first finger will be on fret 5, and that's
It's an
what I
A.
would call an A.
It's an F-shaped A.
That's an F-shaped A. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take my pinky
Yep.
and I'm going to put it on string 3, which is a G string, and that's going to end up on fret 7. So I'm going to put it on.
Oh, I got it already.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
the
it.
fastest learning of a song ever. So it's a bit reggae. Is there an upstroke emphasis or anything cool going on there on the?
It's got that sort of skipping along sort of rhythm. Starts with your pinky on, I think.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm guessing it's got other chords.
No, it does. Not many though, which is kind of good. It goes to a D, and we go A, B minor. That's it, and then into the chorus, which is a G. You can play a G. It's actually a G major 7, but you can play a G. Sorry, I'll turn down a bit. Take me to the D, back to G. Alright. Take me to the April sun, don't treat me alright.
So it's just the only trick is going to be me getting the finger on, finger off correctly in time.
Oh,
Let's go.
There is one other change. If you take an A minor
Yep.
and slide it up like it would be in B minor position, that's 2 frets, and then down to an A. That's the third part. I'm tired of the city life. Summer's on the way. That part. Yeah.
Those are great chord shapes.
Excellent. They were great. I have that record in the vinyl collection here at the Colonel, which I've moved to a usable part of the shop now.
Excellent. We'll look forward to listening to that later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
Hands
going
are
to do
freezing, folks, but
oh my God.
let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. April sun. Here we go. Whoop.
I think we start with the finger on.
Let's see, make sure I've got my...
Let's hope we don't get chucked off, folks. If we do, we see it later on recording.
We'll come back.
I'm tired
Oh my goodness.
Great finish on that song. Because they could have done quite the cheating ending and just faded that, but they finish on a proper chord.
That's awesome. That is a great track. I love that.
It's a real feel-good track, isn't it? It is. Wonderful song. And I think, so that's the first of our bands who are from Hamilton, who escaped Hamilton, who deny they ever came from Hamilton as a result. So
that's lovely.
I'm going to pass over the magnificent Billy Joe in favour of, because came in this morning to discover you had some seriously genuine vintage guitars in the store. I've got some
serious stuff. I'll show everyone. This is the Don Felder that I'm playing at the moment. Don Felder 59. But
shield your eyes, everyone, because a far more beautiful guitar than that is about to join me on the stage.
Should I? I'll stay on the Don Felder, and then I'll do, because we have tellies coming up, so I'll wait for the telly. But
pair of tellies.
Now, so Nigel, you in your hands
have goodness,
a 66.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Jaguar. Before most of the audience was born.
You wouldn't actually know that this was from 1966.
No,
it's in amazing condition.
Should we do it? Let's have a little. Okay, here we go. Camera B.
Yeah.
I'll make sure we're on first. If we haven't been taken off. Hey! Oh no! Live video blocked. What? Resume. Are we still on?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. We're still on.
We offended them. I think we said Cuba.
Yeah. I know.
That was the problem.
Let me see. We'll go through the comments and see. Morning, lads. Need to adjust the horizontal hold on that image. How can you have a T-shirt on, Nigel? It's 2 degrees.
It is a little cold, I can tell you that.
I think we're still on. It says we're live, so we'll keep going. We're recording.
Sorry, everyone. It's the new season. It's the new levels of AI at Facebook and Google. And
they're brutal.
They are truly brutal.
All right, here we go. Look at this.
So
we're going to go. This is spooky. Look at this.
No, that's too spooky, mate.
Is it too spooky? All right, here we go.
Here we go. Let's just...
Boom. Okay.
Have a quick look at this.
Nigel.
Check this out.
66
That is like a brand
Jaguar.
new... Not refinned.
No.
Because the crackling is perfect on it.
Yes.
If you're a Jag fan, go no further. This is the Jag for you.
It's beautiful.
It's and it's twangly and it's jangly and it's Johnny Marr and it's brilliant and
there we are.
I'm going to play it because I can.
Lovely. Now, so Nigel, let me just.
What should we do next? What should we do next? Because I mean, My Sex, they were pretty cool.
Now I like My Sex as well. I'll tell you what though.
But their songs are fast and hard. Then people forget
lots of synth stuff.
Yeah, very much. So it's not really a guitar song. That's no good.
No. I have a sad story about My Sex. In fact, the bass player called me up. This is a few years ago now, but he had a 63 Fender bass. It's used on all the My Sex recordings. He comes. This is after the singer had died, I think so.
Yeah.
He comes to Melbourne and does a gig at the Palais in St Kilda.
Yep.
And puts his bass in the dressing room, locks it up.
Sure.
Comes back, it's gone.
Oh, those are
inside a job. So if you know anything about that,
terrible. So look, a lot of the culture of the music was driven by the venues. It was driven by a love of live music, a rebellion, a sense of that. I mean, you've got to remember, this is a town where the pubs shut at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
And that's until 1967.
Yes.
So all through this era, people are going to go and see Jimmy and the Yardbirds.
Jimmy and the
live music, rock and roll, all these emerging bands. It's because, the pubs aren't open.
Yes.
You got to get home. We called it the 6 o'clock swill, where everyone would line up at the bar and just...
What time did they close?
6 p.m.
What?
You finish work, you go to the pub. It was family values, Colonel. It was a very...
Is there like a heavy religious thing going on over there?
Not at all. No, this was New Zealand, and it's kind of like this bizarre thing. We didn't get TV
disgraceful.
We didn't get TV until about 1970 either. So it was really...
Do you remember black and white TV?
Absolutely. I remember holding the aerial up behind it while everyone's going, we can't see it, hold it further apart.
I remember watching HR Puffin stuff in a little black and white TV we had.
But that repression was critical in the music scene because it gave rise to a remarkable thing called pirate radio. So we had pirate radio in New Zealand, offshore radio Hauraki, which played that imported...
Were they doing it offshore in a boat?
Yeah, absolutely. So very much the UK model, and they brought the hits. They told the kids what to play, to listen to dance to. Very like that Brisbane song about people watching the movies, learning the dance moves. And they lit the fire.
Totally.
So what else have we got? I mean, I love split ends, but they're actually from Te Awamutu, which is like 5 minutes south of Hamilton.
You know what? I'm a big Jenny Morris fan.
I'm a huge...
Is Jenny from Hamilton?
Well, Hamilton claims her, but she's from Morrinsville.
Is she?
Yeah, which is another. It's like 15 minutes out of town. It's like Tammy. She's from Hamilton. She's actually from Cambridge.
Oh, okay.
Which is
that's fancy.
10 minutes out of town, fancy. So it really disassociates itself from Hamilton. As are the Datsuns, by the way.
I love the Datsuns.
Yeah,
yes, we're going to do a Datsuns track, and I'm
fit
pretty
it in.
sure.
What do we got?
Oh, what time have we got?
Oh, we're good. We're 9:35.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
All right. So Jenny Morris.
We will get taken down for the Datsun song.
My goodness, one of the great singers of all time.
Great.
In the Crocodiles with Fane Floors. And
I'm blank on
was
that
it
one.
Fane? Was it Bruno Lawrence? So hey, I'll tell you who I met this week. I met someone famous.
What?
You may know them because you're being an Aussie, right? I was embarrassed to say I made a giant mistake not really knowing them. So this was going to be my news from earlier in the show.
Oh.
I met someone called Nick Aitken.
Nick Aitken.
You would know him as Wilbur Wilde.
Oh my goodness! Is that his real name? I had no idea.
Yep. So what a fascinating gentleman with the memory of an elephant. Incredible, the stories.
Great sax
player. He picks up my
player.
Kiwi accent and says, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm going, "You'll never have heard the town where I'm from. It's Hamilton." And it's like an inch south of Auckland on a decent map. He's going, "Is it near Ngāruawāhia?" And his pronunciation. I'm going, "Where'd you get that from?" He's obviously an actor and a musician, all these kind of things. And so it's Wilbur Wilde from Hey Hey.
Wow.
And a friend of mine made a...
He's a legit player, folks. He's a legit player.
Oh my goodness, he was the most handsome. Speaking of handsome, 6'5" dudes.
Is he tall?
He's
really
huge.
I've never met him.
He's huge still today. Like he played the really long saxophone because he was 6'5" and it didn't look ridiculous on him.
Wow.
So Jojo Zepp and the Falcons played it at Sweetwater's the year I went.
Oh.
And I'm going, the synchronicity of this is... And
I love Jojo Zepp too.
I love Jojo Zepp, Joe Camilleri and all the... I mean, just those were the songs of my time.
Oh.
That was an introduction to funk and kind of that whole weird feeling. And so, I met him. He had some great stories to tell.
That's awesome.
That was cool. So,
I'm just going to see if we still have some people on with us today.
I've had to come back. Hey, do you know it's the 50th anniversary of What's Going On by Marvin Gaye?
Is it?
This weekend.
Oh, I get a lot of that stuff because I'm 51. I'll be 52 this year, unfortunately. We had young Raymond from Thirsty Merc in this week.
Oh, fantastic.
The main dude, yeah.
He might have signed that guitar we gave away that time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Thirsty Merc did that big...
Do you know... I said, aren't you a Sydney-based musician? He's like, well, I'm kind of here and I'm kind of there, and they have a little studio on St Kilda Road. And I'm like, I live on St Kilda Road. Where, it's like, well,
secret.
It's secret. Yeah, but he told me where it is, and it's like secret because it's an apartment. They're not supposed to turn it into a studio. But anyway, he was a lovely guy, chasing some stuff. Now, so Nigel, we have some more people on.
That's cool.
Jeff,
welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome. Good to be back. Jeff Cook is he's up in Brisbane, and he is living in Bray Park, which I know where that is. And he says it's near Strathpine. It's up north. Rob Ferguson says, which amp are you playing through, Sir Nigel?
Fender Twin Reverb
Fender
amp.
Twin.
A real genuine ancient one.
An ancient one, 1969 or 70. Silver face.
There's a price. There's a price to playing and owning old amps. Need a bit of love and care, but the payoff is the tone.
Yeah, you can't beat it. It cost me about $500 a week to keep it going, but the tone's so good.
It's your grandfather's Fender Twin Reverb with...
Exactly. Phil Potts is on. Morning, lads. Hello. I better like some comments. That's apparently what you're supposed to do here to
it's true.
Drive the traffic.
About that.
Yes. David Martin, he commented on your T-shirt. It's 2 degrees. It is, the thing about autumn. I love autumn in Melbourne. And if you want to visit Melbourne, autumn is the time. Yeah. It's a little bit chilly in the morning, but then you get sort of 18 to 20 during the day. It's beautiful.
Put a big puffer jacket on, be like us.
And then that only lasts for about 15 minutes of the day, but that's okay. You just take an umbrella. Michael Ray says, the Eye of Sarin passed you by.
Yes.
Michael Ray, the 6 o'clock swill was also here in Melbourne.
Really?
Yes.
What sort of uncivilized...
When the pub shut at 6 p.m.
Oh my God, you had the same rules.
Oh my God.
It was this bizarre social manipulation kind of thing.
It ended in 1966.
So just before us. I must look into that. I'm fascinated by Michael, you perhaps could save me a bit of research. Tell me what on earth was the goal of the 6 o'clock swirl?
You know, the weird thing about growing up in Brisbane, there were so many restrictions, especially when Joh Bjelke-Petersen was there, but the one thing they didn't really have restrictions on was boozing at the pub.
Right.
Because the pubs could stay open until 4 or 5 in the morning. So you could essentially just go drink all through the night. And when I came to Melbourne, we'd go to the pubs, so the pubs close at like midnight. I thought, that's a bit odd. Why?
We'd have been happy with that. The pub's closing at 6, so it's been like we always do a bit of trivia. My favourite trivia of the week is your mate Clive Palmer from your hometown.
Yes, my
lost his court case to Twisted Sister.
Oh, that's a good thing.
We're not going to take it.
Yes.
So he nicked that without a single nod or hat tip for his election song.
Yes.
And they took him to court and they won. Clive, of course, being difficult about paying it up. And also have a book review for the week.
Oh, yes. Restaurant and book reviews. If you have a restaurant or book review you'd like to chuck through.
Like us to review, that would be cool.
Yeah, chuck it through.
So my friend Rachel Slattery gave me this one. She's a musician from musical scene family. She's more classical. She's like the opera and those kind of things. Yes. But she loves a good music book. Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan. So this is the most astonishing stream of consciousness by a Glaswegian author about 6 boys from Glasgow saving up the £13 in 1986 and going to the 10th anniversary. Real concert happened of punk.
Wow.
It was at a place called G-Mex in Manchester.
Wow.
And their entire lives centering around this one weekend. And it's like if you took Train Spotting and moved it on and made it listenable, because you actually understand the accents. He reads it.
Yes.
It's 2 halves. First half is just this brilliant, rambling, flowing, 6 boys going nuts. And like we were just listening to the Lovefish downstairs at our place. They've got a band and rolling out the door, yahooing on the street. We're just saying, oh my God, 20-year-olds. And it's like, it's just like the book. It's exactly the same scenarios. They're cheeky, they're annoying, they're drunk, and their descriptions of the music are fantastic. So the whole 1980s post-punk thing, punk ending is...
And sorry, what was the name of that?
The book's called Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan. It's in 2 halves. The second half's sad. The protagonist contracts cancer, and it's the story. And the second half's when they're in 2018 when they're 50. And it was beautifully written, incredible Audible. Thank you, Rachel, for recommending that.
Audible,
and because he reads it in the accents, and it's hilarious.
All right, one for Audible.
Absolutely. So cyclists have this book they go back to all the time. Racing road cyclists, which used to be my thing, have this book called The Race, which is the stream of consciousness from a cyclist in a race, and it's nailed it. Of what's going on inside the head of a bike racer, which is pain and agony and all those kind of things. This does the same for musicians, punk fans. They're full of trivia, they're full of knowledge, they're full of passion and trying to escape Glasgow.
There you go.
So there's the tie-up to the town I'm from, Hamiliton, postcode.
I wonder if... do you remember Morris, the Scotsman that had... a couple of doors down, he had a Swedish furniture.
He got
excommunicadoed
and invaded one day.
Yes,
Morris.
He was sent back to Scotland, sadly, but it was either the first gig, must have something to do with this book, but he has a Sex Pistols ticket.
Oh, wow.
He went to see them on their second show or something.
Gee.
He used to go see all these.
There was only 11 people at the first show, so that...
Yeah. Maybe double the next one.
It's the same live thing. They all knew each other. It was a very small scene, and they all supported each other and made music accordingly. I've just finished that book. I've just started Astral Weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay, what's that about?
So that's Ryan Walsh's book about the year 1968 and the most unbelievable story of Van Morrison composing and recording that album.
Wow.
So review coming up.
Oh.
Wait till you hear the backstory to Astral Weeks.
It's a great album. We have it on vinyl.
It's a boggler. We're never going to play it in here because it's so clever.
It's super clever, yeah. It's
Brown-Eyed Girl was going to be Brown-Skinned Girl.
Was it?
Yeah, and someone wisely, his producer took him aside, before the producer died of a heart attack at 38, took him aside and said, "We got to change that, mate.
Wow.
You're in America now. You're a mad 5'5" Irish drunken idiot."
My auntie from Montreal, here's a true story. When she was going to uni, they went to a Van Morrison concert.
Wow.
And they got to meet him, and they said, "Oh, would you come and play at our uni?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'll come and do it." And they said, "What do you want?" He's like, "Just get me a carton of beer." So they got him a case of beer, and he went and played at McGill University or something.
Oh, that's superb. That's superb.
Isn't that nice?
Hey, you've got your Orange Sky Laundry socks on today.
I do.
Thanks, man. That's cool. That's your Brisbane buddies. They're coming down for pizza and beer at my house on Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing you fellas.
My brother is coming down to shoot a movie here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully my mum's going to come and
Does he want us to do the theme music? No.
Well, I've offered free. I've offered all of my music to him for free, and he hasn't taken it up yet.
What do we got as a song? Come on, I've got a beautiful Jag. Well, you've got the same.
I've got the same. Let's do Jenny Morris.
Yeah.
And Break in the Weather. I love. That's such a classic single.
That's a great video. Look that one up on the old interwebs. With that black Strat actually heavily influenced me into buying the black Strat off you, which is how we met.
Oh, yes, it is.
So that
Black
video,
Strat and the Blues Junior. I think was that right?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
that's cool.
And so the other small world thing is because my wife knows Jenny Morris.
Is that right? Yeah. Wow. I think
we're all related in New Zealand.
Should I? I've told this story many times. I've told this story many times. I won't tell it again. All I will say is that every time someone from New Zealand comes in, they know the Dalton family. It's unbelievable.
No, it is. You either know each other or related. I sat down at a lunch just down the road here opposite have you seen what they've done to Armstrong Studios? AAV. It's an apartment block, So having lunch across the way with some friendly media types.
Oh my God.
And looking out over it, telling music stories and all those kind of things, and telling them where I'm from. Sit down. Oh my goodness, what a small town. The lady sitting next to me, Eve, who runs Melbourne's biggest post-punk festival, Small World.
What?
Hopefully getting that going again, Eve. It's called Weird.
Okay.
And so lots of venues all over town. We shared a love of the John Curtin.
Yes.
And I'm going, you're never going to know where I'm from. And she says, okay, just tell me. So she went to school with Tammy's cousin and knows my friend Tom. So okay, enough small town Hamilton stories. Let's play Jenny, who's from Morrinsville, nearby. Escaped to Wellington, escaped to Australia. Tragically has lost her voice.
I know, that's terrible.
But that's okay.
I'll cheer everyone up with this story. I have a friend of mine in New Zealand. And he tried to take his girlfriend to the rugby union.
Stop.
And they refused entry because they said, no, she'll come in and eat all the grass. So, thank you, folks. Okay. Dun, da, da, da.
Okay, so has this got chords?
It's got chords. It's got like two chords.
C and an A.
C and an F.
Okay, so we should just do these power chords.
Yeah, something like that. It's kind of got a bit of a... You can do,
That's nice.
Cute little... That's a B flat to a C. That's it. And then essentially it's just a C minor. F. And you break in the
we don't even need to play it, Colonel.
That sounds so much fun.
Man, you're vibing on that.
I'm liking, I'm a Les Paul.
As the young people say.
Yeah, I'm liking this Les Paul. It's beautiful to play.
It has.
So.
The tone in that's just...
It's got that
beautiful.
Yeah. It's definitely got that eagle sound.
Doesn't get you behind the eyes like some of them do. Like that, it's got some oof to
lovely.
it.
Come on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got tons of oof on this thing.
Michael Ray is still on. We're going to do a Jenny Morris.
Okay.
Hello, if you haven't said anything,
Fingers
if
crossed.
you've joined us.
The internet squids don't throw us off, and if we do, just watch us on YouTube afterwards.
They might just pause the video or something for a while. But here we go, folks. It's breaking the weather. I haven't really rehearsed this one, to be honest, but we're going to do it.
Wow.
That might have been a
You
touch
decoded it, Colonel.
I decoded it.
I tell you what, we
Good
needed
job.
Wilbur Wild. We needed Wilbur Wild for the... You could have done that on that
Love that.
giant saxophone of his.
I know.
That would have been awesome.
Giant saxophone for a giant human. Have we got time for a little
We have,
guitar
but-
swap?
Yeah, it's time for my third guitar because I've been starved of guitars, Colonel. I only had the 3 or 4 at home that I've been allowed to play. And I want a telly. I want to be on the telly.
Too. I want a telly.
We didn't get
Yeah.
the telly in Hamilton until 1970.
What? Really? No.
And here we go. No, we didn't. Oh, yes, and I've got one of those
I
things
think
that
Brisbane
does work.
was probably about the same. To
I
be honest.
got me some twang from... Actually, there's a big country and western tradition from Hamilton too. But we're not going to talk about that because it ain't rock and roll. And
No, that's
we
true.
need some dirty, filthy rock and roll. So what have I got on my hands? Because I intuitively went to this thing because it's just beautiful to look at.
That is a
it's
19...
it's either the most remarkable custom shop aged or it's a genuine item.
That is a genuine item. That's a 69 Telecaster, folks.
Wow.
Which you can find right here
Poof.
in South Melbourne. Come down and play it.
Damn.
And that's one of my own guitars. But I've gone and bought another Les Paul. And it's costing me money. So I have to sell something. And the 69 is going.
Birthday boy just texted
birthday.
me saying, "Are you at the Colonel's? Yeah, you're not watching the show. What sort of priorities is
How
that?
dare you, young man. Hang on, I'll do it.
Online.
I'll do it.
We do it.
No. You're in big trouble, Noah. How dare you?
It's
There we go.
oh, no, there's that famous actually. There's that famous happy birthday from the Simpsons.
And tell me more.
It's a great scene. So it's Mr. Burns' birthday, right? And so what's happened is his assistant has arranged a band to play.
Yes.
And it's
yes.
the Ramones.
Oh, yes.
And it's genuinely the Ramones. You know, they play themselves. And they are commanded to play Happy Birthday. I can't even remember how it goes.
Oh,
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And then it goes that. It's like that. Anyway, he gets there. Mr. Burns is incensed. Kill the Rolling Stones. But sir, it's the Ramones. Kill the Rolling Stones.
well, happy birthday, Noah, if you're watching.
Yeah.
That's a big one. We have one more tune
We
to
have.
do.
Should we do something more modern, a bit more rebellious, a bit
Let's
more,
go to Datsuns.
a bit more behind us here on the screen?
That's a Datsuns.
Now, so-
yes, I thought we would do MF from...
Okay, because if we get thrown off,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah, so
Okay,
leave
so
it right at the end.
Datsun's history formed at high school
Yes.
in Cambridge, just outside of Hamilton. Renamed themselves in the year 2002 the Datsuns. Now, Datsuns, of course, is a Nissan, a Japanese car. That's the name we had it in New Zealand for decades. Like, was Datsun, right?
Yeah, we had Datsuns.
So, late 2000, cut themselves a single, launched at one of those grotty little local venues called Ward Lane
Yes,
to 25 people who were each charged $2 to get in. All right.
fair enough.
In 2002, a short time later, the John Peel miracle occurs.
Yes.
And John Peel, I mean, he's a giant in our industry.
Yes,
He picks your record up,
was.
shit happens, and the rest is history. So by 2004, these kids from Cambridge High School have an album produced by John Paul Jones,
Wow,
our favourite bass player,
absolutely.
and they're touring with the White Stripes.
What? Amazing.
How does that, like, rock fame from nothing, from Hamilton, escaping to that level? And there's a beautiful John Peel. They were invited to do the John Peel tribute when he passed. So it's got, oh goodness, what is that song? I've forgotten it now. I'll have it written down somewhere.
Oh, the Buzzcocks one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ever Fallen in
Ever
Love?
Fallen in Love.
Yeah.
That's the one.
With Roger Daltrey and a whole bunch of others. That's the level that the Datsuns have reached. They live all over the world now.
Yeah. I read
And-
somewhere they're reforming the do a tour or something.
Possibly. I mean, like so many people locked down, they
Yeah.
kind of would have had that love, and why not, man? There's 40th anniversary tours of everything going on at the moment.
Young Tommy Boyce from the Casanovas, who have back together and playing, he did a lot of touring with the Datsuns. He was telling me all about it. Now, so Nigel, I think we've hit the 10. Should we do it?
Let's do the song.
I'm
and
going to
we're
show
out.
you.
So
I'll show you the chords and I'll do the riff.
Yep.
But it's kind of cool. Oh, excuse me, it's very loud. So
a D
it's going to be
sharp.
a C.
C sharp.
C sharp, yes. So basically, it's that. And then that's the riff. But if you just hit the. And when he starts singing. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Very rock and roll.
It's pretty rock and roll. And the only other chord change, E, B, C sharp. You do that again and then it's an E. E or E, C sharp, F sharp.
Lots of chords. Let's just
You'll
play
get
it.
it. You'll get it. Let's do it.
Do you think we'll get a chance to say goodbye afterwards? 2 minutes.
We'll do our goodbyes now because I have a feeling this one is going to get us kicked off the air.
Yes.
But thanks for...
Because you're about to find out what it's called.
Thanks for watching.
Turn the hearing aid down, Michael. You don't want to hear these rude words.
Yes. Do they have hearing aids in Barwon? I'm not sure. Maybe it was confiscated.
Here's
smuggled one in.
Here's a tribute. Here's Bye Bye from Postcode Rock.
Postcode Rock, Hamilton. Thank you,
Hamilton,
Hamilton.
New Zealand.
And the Datsuns. We love you.
Yeah.
And everybody, thanks for
Thanks
watching.
for the sponsorship,
we're gonna try
well-beings.
We're going to try and do it we're back every Saturday.
Who's sponsoring
morning,
me
so-
next week, I wonder? Let's find out. Let's
All right,
go.
ladies and gentlemen, if I haven't said hello to you, Datsun time.
Datsun 120Y.
Datsun.
Who had a 120Y? Fastback. Whew. Owned
Yes.
the world. He had one of those.
I remember there was a very fast. Was it 180B?
Ooh, that was the
that
family car.
That was the family car. Okay.
Yeah, there was the 1200C, the two-door.
Oh,
coupe.
you know your car, sir.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, folks.
No chance.
There's a girl running around my head. I know she made me cry. She made me crazy. She made me mad. She made me feel like a motherfucker from hell. Like a motherfucker from hell. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Apologies to everyone on the internet.
Let's see.
And
Oh, we're still on. How about that?
That is the Hamilton attitude right there. Thank you, Datsons. Thank you.
How about that? You can play that
Kimbra.
Datsun
Thank
song.
you, Tammy. Thank you,
But you
Jenny
can't play the Dragon
Morris.
song. Thank you, Hamilton.
Thank you,
Lovely.
MySex.
have
Thank
to
you,
visit.
Dragon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sir Nigel, for coming in. And thanks for watching, everybody.
The show is on, folks.
Woo, we're
What's
back,
the next
we're
rock
back.
postcode? Is a big challenge. If you've got an idea, send it in.
Yeah, if you'd like to see something, shoot it in, please.
Gee, I've got to go back to the research and start thinking. We talked about Seattle at one stage. We've talked about Portland. We've talked about maybe it's
big
time
ones.
to tackle London or Melbourne or Manchester, Glasgow. Glasgow, orange, speed
Let
orange.
us know if you'd like to see a city reviewed or a suburb or something like that.
Famous rock postcode. Send
It all works. Thanks, Sir Nigel.
Beautiful
We're
guitars.
open. We're opening. Come on down.
Yeah,
Say
guitar
hello.
shot, obligatory guitar shot.
Oh my God.
I played the
Those
most.
balls, they're heavy.
I got them all. Look at
There we
all
go.
these guitars
Oh, wow.
I played. Wow.
Promo shot. Thanks, guys.
Woohoo.
I'm going to open the door, and we've got the heater on. It's nice and warm.
Let's sell some guitars.
Woo! Bye, everyone.
This episode of Shootin' the Strings is proudly brought to you by the Guitar Colonel. For the best vintage and used guitars in Australia, visit www.guitarcolonel.com.